Good afternoon, everyone. How are we today? How's it going? How we doing? How we feeling? Hello, hello, hello. Echo? Is everyone else hearing an echo, or is it just... Good afternoon. Yeah. No, it's good. Good. So, Bitcoin did the dirty. And it did exactly the same thing 3 times, guys. Consolidation, kill the range. Consolidation, kill the range. And all 3 of them with force. What's the slaughter today? Well, I think almost all the liquidity down has been wiped. Absolutely wiped. Excited today? Yeah, me too. Me too. Because honestly, my idea would be that we're gonna look for long on the bounce. And I'm not saying it's going much higher. It's gonna be more of a scalp. I marked off this region. And I think this could be a very logical position to at least take it back to the higher part of this range. And it's not the best RR, but I think the market needs to see at least a slight retest. 55 came soon, monthly close bearish as fuck. Wow, that's something I agree upon. It depends on the daily close. It very much depends on the daily close. So, what have they been doing? And this is something that a lot of people forget. And today I also want to talk about backtesting. And not just looking forward, but also looking backward in trading. Right? Because a lot of people, like, I'll wait until some more people come in. So let's start with this first. Type bullish or bearish in the chat depending on how you're feeling for the rest of the day. I'm curious to see, like, how are we divided here? Are we bullish or bearish, guys? Bullish, bearish. Bearish. Bull for the next few hours. Okay. Bearish, bullish, bearish. Broke ascending, trending, so hard to be bullish with weekend come. Short term bullish. Bearish. The chat feels on the fence about this one, isn't it? Bullish, bearish, everyone too fearful? I'm bullish. Well, currently statistics would dictate, statistically, that we should see a retrace back to at least the 67.5k region. We're holding perfectly on this order block, but yet again, that's based on normal statistics, and the market can stay irrational for rather long. And as we've seen, this market especially right now, it's ferocious. I don't know if you follow me on X, but the link is below. My probability indicator gave today 84 or 89% chance of dumping. And that's the highest probability I've seen as of yet. And I know a lot of people thought we were down a lot already. But there's always more liquidity. Look at what they've taken in the last 4 hours. They've taken 200 million in long liquidations. 200 million. That means that in the time that we've been building, only this week, more than 200 million of longs have reaccumulated within the range that we have been trading. So by just going above 70k, they managed to take out more than 200 million. Love your stuff. Thank you very much, my friend. So, my trade setup would look like this. Taking the lows, seeing what New York does, with preparing for fireworks. Absolutely preparing for fireworks. Because either New York is going to be ferocious and going to liquidate the late longs or the late shorts. That's what I think that would make a lot of sense for them to do. But it's not going to be an easy session. Bearish to 65.8. Why? Because that's two very decent levels below even. And they bounced off perfectly off the hold line. And look at the amount of liquidity stacking above, guys. Oi, 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 oi. It's crazy, huh? It's a feeding frenzy for the market makers. They're already piling in. Normally, what logic would dictate is that we retrace or retest at least 50% of this move, which would mean that we have a strong bounce up, retest, which we had 50%, and this is the make or break it, where we either go higher or we have the same pattern as we have now as well, and then we get a continuation pattern downwards. These are the two options that I'm looking for in today. Why? Because, well, statistically and within normal market conditions, a 50% retest of the candle makes sense, mostly because of liquidity. A lot of people get trapped in these moves and a lot of people get stuck, but also liquidations and unfulfilled orders get there. Happy Friday. Absolutely. Panther, fire this guy. Almost fell asleep. You know what would be good for you? To just leave the chat and not come back. Roger, thank you very much. I'll handle myself, but it's nice. Thank you. Congrats on the 400k. Thank you very much. Apparently you need to turn on hedge mode manually for Blowfin, and that's something that I missed, so that's why my short got auto closed. But yeah, it's part of the game. Now we need to find new entries. We gotta hunt for entries. My long is DCA, Jason. So my average entry for my long is now approximately 66.4. Where we enter, this is the trade I for now have drawn out. What I would like to see play out, but we need to have some confirmation at the low of it holding, actually, of the low holding, to see what we do. Now we're having the 3 o'clock European time pivot point, and we see some slight strength coming into the market again. They did a retest at the lows. They're now pressuring up back to higher. Let's see what they can do. Let's see if they actually go for it or not. I want to see at least 50% of this move retraced, which would bring us to 67.2. And 67.2 would be a very, very decent hold level. But as of now, they just keep rejecting the 66.7. Why? Doesn't necessarily make sense. There's not a real reason. Are there any bullish catalysts to hope for? Listen, hopium is never a good thing within trading. So my answer to that would be absolutely not. Like, Uncle Donald can have a tweet, but who am I to say if that's gonna add anything? Liquidity has been swept. It would make sense to go back to 66.9, even 67.1, 67.2. Look at how much liquidity is piling up even at the 69k range. I think that's a little bit too much to ask for and to hope for. But we bounce perfectly off the dwell block. 67.5 retest makes a lot of sense. But as of now, we either need to first see a tap of the 66.4K region, and if we hold or look to consolidate, that's going to be our trigger for an entry, or we need to shift out, retest half of the range, and we'll take it from there. But as of now, the market looks to not be able to do anything positive. So either New York has to bring in a lot of volume in 25 minutes for an upwards pressure, or we're going to go down to the gutter even more. So this is not a blind limit order. This is not a blind trade to take. This is a setup where we need to see certain signs. And why do we need to see certain signs? Because it's completely different than normal. New York didn't do the dirty. English did it. London session. Why? Because London session marked down price 4% without any retracements. As you can see, the opening of London did a lot of damage. A lot of damage. 3.2% in the London session, straight downwards movement prior to New York opening. So low volume, and guys, it was as expected. Why? Because London has been doing this for the last month. London has been showing the same behavior. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, London puts pressure up. Why? Because every Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday for the last month, London has been pumping. Look back at the charts, backtest your data. And that's the importance of backtesting. And that's also why we're going to release indicators that are going to help you for free with this backtesting. Volume is low. I can bring my mic closer. Or is the volume better now? US Marines arrive today. If Donald Trump tweets something, we might go up or down. Depends on what he tweets. And depends on how the market wants to see it. Our biggest issue for now, if we go to TradingView, and I hope everyone knows the correlation that if the dollar keeps rising up, it's bad for markets and it's also bad for Bitcoin. And as you can see, the dollar has been rising quite powerful. Dollar is again above 100. So if we want to see Bitcoin recover, it would be good, it would be very good for the dollar to come down a bit. So right now we're looking for a couple of potential patterns. Retest, shift out to at least take 50% of the range liquidity, around 67K. If not, then we're going to straight dump. I'm not going to take this trade. Then I'm going to remain in my short. Why? Because bounces in a bear market and bounces in a lower trajectory are for shorting. They're not for building longs. We haven't bottomed yet, guys. Why? Because an average bear market takes way longer time. An average bear market needs more time to go down. We haven't seen a capitulation event. We haven't seen a liquidation cascade. We haven't seen something dramatic yet. And all the influences of the war, of the geopolitical issues, everything has yet still to come. So don't underestimate how low Bitcoin can go. Don't underestimate how long the market can stay irrational. People saying it has to go up now. It has to go up, it's taken enough. It's not true. The market can stay irrational longer than we can stay liquid. Trust me. And indeed, guys, already 470 lovely people here. If you want to trade with me, join my free community below and trade with me on Bluefin. You can even get cashbacks, access to the indicator, access to FlowX, the terminal we're building that you can see on the left now. And just trade with me and make some money, because that's in the end what it's all about, right? Would love to learn backtesting with the native Python thing on TradingView. I like to backtest with self-built indicators, or that we're building with my software team. Why? Because the TradingView interface itself is not per se that good for backtesting. And I can explain you why. Because it's a trade planner. And by backtesting on a trade planner, you also need trade executions and becomes a strategy tester instead of just, I like to go off of data, you know? And going off of data, data can't lie. But every other tool that is in between can clutter the judgment and can still, like I can show you my probability indicator, right? So, that's the wrong one. This was the other test version. This thing holds almost everything, right? Most things that we can think of. It has the markets, it has RSI, it has some sort of MACD, it has volume, it has everything. And it even correlates the time frames. That's where we got the 84% chance of down, even takes into consideration the planetary compositions and everything. This takes time and this takes backtesting. Also with streaks, the bias, everything around it. This is not easy to make. And you can't just Python code this into a backtesting system. Why not? Because the system isn't built for backtesting. TradingView was never made for backtesting. TradingView is made for trading and viewing charts. So I have the tendency to use programs for what they were designed for and what they were meant to do. Looks like Bitcoin is not giving absolutely anything to the upside and just bluntly pressuring it back down again from, well, a neglectable level and neglectable support. Why do I say that? If we look back in time, even on the 15 minutes, it's a non-significant level, the 700. There hasn't been much. We've always consolidated above. We've seen the pressure below. We definitely did. But as of now, with a pretty severe impulse move, I still think we're most likely due for a pump and a small retracement instead of the remainder of a blunt dump. Planetary what? Planetary composition. People exist for the largest thing out of water. It's the same as how the sea responds to it. And Fibonacci and all organical is also based off of it. Fibonacci is also based off organic number shapes and things that reside within nature. I don't know if you guys knew that, but then here's a free fact. No one has access to the probability indicator yet. We're still figuring out how we're going to do it. We're meeting with Blowfin. So we have to see, but it's probably going to be partnered with exchanges. So you need to do certain volume. You need to make sure that you're signed up under the exchange and trading under us. And then you will get access to the indicators depending on volume, etc., etc. TradingView is not Python native. No, that's 100% true, Judah. So as of now, all we got to do is wait for New York to open and then hopefully get more clarity on what the hell is going on. And we can take it from there. Right now it looks to be that 66.7 is the main level of rejection, even though we are spending quite a lot of time still in the range. But yeah, the last two times that we were spending time in the range, it wasn't very nice for us either, because they just bluntly dumped it down. It looks like it's conceiving the same pattern: dump, consolidation, dump, consolidation, dump, and then the next level might even be low 65Ks if this isn't holding. So if this becomes invalidated, the next trade that would actually make sense, and I think they're gonna dump through this, would be 65.3. And it would look like would look like this. If we go to the upside, we have to see how much pressure they're actually giving, or how much they're willing to give back, and how much strength it has, and then we will start planning. 90 minutes still open? Oh yes. What's future saying? Well, listen, across the board, nothing is looking good right now. Even though the dollar seems to be giving slight back, Bitcoin is not yet responding to it. And I don't even have to look at it, but I don't think futures is opening green, my friend. I'm 2 followers off 80k on X, so if anyone wants to be the 80,000 follower, link is below. By the way, already 514 beautiful people in here. Can we smash the like button and hopefully get some trades going in today? I really want to try and take this long, but we need to have some sort of certainty because the market has given so much downwards pressure today. Nothing in terms of short has been wrecked. 40 million in 24 hours. That's like 15% ratio. That's crazy. It doesn't seem like they're giving big any pressure. CVD is also not looking great. CVD is dropping tremendously across all time frames. Look, CVD is almost back at the same level as where it was previously, and that's never a good sign. Never a good sign. Actually, it's a very, very bad sign. Hedge long still open or stop? My hedge long is open. I DCA'd it. But the thing is, you have to imagine I'm in a 90 Bitcoin short, so I can have a 60 Bitcoin long open. Ayo, Chento, hey Kernan, how are you today, my friend? So as of now, the structure is still not telling anything, except that it copied the same exact move a couple times now. Everything, even on the 5 minutes, is resigning higher. If we look from a structural perspective here, we would like to see at least 68 or 69.4, but it's looking very unlikely. But the most unlikely scenarios have sometimes been proven to be the right ones, and we have a weekend in front of us, right? And guys, if you want any advice, my advice would be to absolutely stay away from the markets in the weekend. Because with all the war going on, everything that's developing and all the news absorption during low volume hours, please just do yourself a favor and stay away. Don't take trades. There's way more you can lose than you can ever try to gain from it. What's your advice for small portfolios? Treat them as small, but treat them the same as you would do with a big portfolio. People have the tendency to over-risk and over-leverage themselves. But size in the end doesn't matter, except you go above 300 Bitcoin, then you need to start doing ODCing and need to have contact with exchanges in order if you're free to scale in for that period. But unless you're building to that portfolio size, just treat it as anything else. Manage your risk, manage your exposure, and leverage is not the thing that kills. Exposure is the thing that actually kills, and that's what a lot of people forget. People have the tendency, listen, if you go 2% 50x, nothing will happen. If you go 100% 50x, that's when the trouble begins. So my advice for small portfolio is it doesn't change anything. But accept the fact that you won't grow as fast. Or actually you will grow at the same speed, but the gains in terms of money will not be as big as with a big port, and that's logical. If you trade 100k or 5k, you can't get the same gains, right? Not with the same risk, not with the same strategy, not by being well managed. Can someone tell Americans to not mess with the price today? Yeah, we both know that's not gonna happen. Look at the structure they're making here. They retest 700, they dump it back down. They're aiming for the lows without releasing liquidity up, just by building more positions. It's textbook fuckery, my friend. It's textbook fuckery. What platform must I get to begin, or am I being forward? How do you mean begin? I would sign up with my Blowfin link. Link is below in the comments. Join the Discord and just start trading. Maybe even demo trading, or with a very small amount that you're comfortable with losing, and slightly start building, getting comfortable. And what a lot of people do is they immediately start with TA, they start with trading and everything. Try to learn how risk management works, guys. So if you know how risk management works, then you can start with TA and make sure that you first understand how the market works. A lot of people have no clue how the market works, and yet they're throwing money at it. And they have no idea how exchanges work, and yet they throw money at it because someone says that XYZ exchange has the cheapest fees instead of looking at the trustworthiness. It's crazy to me, to be honest. Absolutely crazy. But that's me, you know. Hey Chento, give me bit funded, please. Who are you and what? So giving advice every day for free is not enough to give? My apologies. What's the best way to learn risk management? It's partially through trial and error. There are not many courses on it because risk management is a personal thing. You need to come to peace with yourself psychologically within boundaries. What is acceptable for you to lose? And for me, it's normally 3% of portfolio if I'm not doing a challenge. So my main port never risks 3% of the total capital value as long as I'm not doing a challenge. Because in challenges, there are different rules because it has to be challenging, right? 𝗟𝗢𝗙 gives bit funded? Yeah, then go to 𝗟𝗢𝗙. I don't use bit funded. If you're losing but doesn't affect you, you're doing it right. Exactly. What will your stops be if it dumps more? I'm not in a trade yet. So my short is still bigger than my long. It's just a hedge potential giving back gains. I'm getting out of my long hedge as soon as I have confirmation that we're not bouncing on 66k. And that's not just an overshoot and moving back, but that's actually consolidating in the mid-range. That would be confirmation for me to absolutely not go longs. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm Dutch, I'm blunt, what can I say? I'm different. I'm here to trade and I'm here to make money with you guys. I'm not here to give away bit funded. We might do giveaways in the future, don't get me wrong guys, but I'm not here today to, and especially not if someone says, yo, give me bit funded. Like, yo, send me $1 million and I'll learn you how to trade. Works the same way, you know? So 560 people, let's run it again. Who is bearish and who is bullish? Type in chat. And I want to see some reasoning. Let's discuss some reasoning behind it. I wanna start to understand where your guys' head is at and why it's there, because that's the way we can grow together, right? We gotta understand each other. I'm not myself, bro. I have that some days. Why not bit funded? I like Breakout more. They've been acquired by Kraken. I'm actually in talks of getting a Breakout deal. It's just a matter of taste. I'm not saying that bit funded is less or Breakout is better or whatever. It's just personal preference, you know? I don't think they're gonna close the monthly red. I would be severely surprised. Especially because that would be the 7th green, the 7th red candle in a row. Bearish because Ben Cohen said so. Oh man, they're just reacting again to absolutely nothing. Even though 𝗥𝗘𝗟𝗓 is dumping. 𝗥𝗘𝗓 is pushing down. like pretty roughly, and Bitcoin still can't do anything. Bitcoin can't even hold up his own pants, to be honest. So in the next 8 minutes, it's gonna be very, very, very much decision time, and then we'll see what we're gonna get. But right now, on the basis of what I'm currently seeing, it's very, very, very much looking not good. Absolutely not good. Trying to put on the AC, but that beep is so loud, it's crazy. 3D dead cross, never been wrong. Yeah, I agree, but we dumped a lot, so a retrace would be in order. But that's why I'm saying I need confirmation in order to get into this position. It's just what I've been charting out. I'm looking for these longs, but I'm not really... For shorts, we need to have confirmation as well. Because listen, New York, it's a Friday. It has a reason that they call it Friday fuckery, huh? And that's not because they make sense a lot of the times. What's confirmation? 50% retrace minimum. So when I see 50% retrace of this move, to actually start believing in the fact that they could go up, they retested this lower end of the bracket now quite a lot. Let me switch these, otherwise my brain gets errors. Yeah, I'm ADHD and I think I'm slightly autistic, so everything has to be in the same order on the same screen with the same color code, otherwise it's... I'm losing it. Is there anyone else that has that same problem? That everything needs to work and everything has to be exactly the same as you always have it? Like, I'm not having tics, or I'm not like completely retarded, but I have certain ways of doing certain stuff. Like the order of my charts and stuff like that, it always has to be in the same order, otherwise I don't want to say I start twitching, but it's, yeah. Me, yeah, my wife. I like being organized, I can relate to that, yeah. Oh good, then I'm not I'm not the only crazy guy here, you know? Must be mad people thing. I don't know what kind of thing it is, but it's just, I don't know. If you would now switch my monitors, I would probably, I don't know. It would be so hard for me. Same as at home. Since the beginning, I had a certain setup where even my WhatsApp was open at one point. And now everything always has to be at the same screen, at the same point on my... I have 3 widescreen monitors around me at home, and everything has to be at the same point, the same way, even the same size, otherwise it doesn't even fit in my Streamlabs. So that's, I don't know, it's kind of... Yeah, it's autistic, I know. I'm sorry. It's range compression at this point without any shifts to the upside. Low side looks to be holding, but right now, guys, if you're not yet positioned, be careful. Listen, there's not much glory to be made on this. That's just my honest opinion. Scaling shorts here is insanely dangerous. Scaling into a long is very dangerous as well because of all the geopolitical tensions. So if you're not well positioned yet, and people in the Discord know we have been short since 71.8, and we have been scaling and DCing, so my average entry got to 70.8. But please stay safe. Listen, if you lose money, you need to exponentially make money to get it back. And what do I mean by that? If you lose half of it, you need to make double, right? And yes, it needs to escape this range first. It needs to at least test 66.9 or 66.8 high in order to get me convinced that we actually might be able to do something here. I just got a text from a friend of mine that S&P looks like it's ready to jump off a cliff, and I must say I agree with him. By the way, we hit 80,000 followers, more than grateful. Thank you so much for joining me in my journey. If you guys also want to join with the Bluefin link below, it gets even better then, because you can get all the benefits. Ran sketchy AI agents are messing with my ex-wife's bank accounts. Well, that's a sentence I would not have expected on my bingo card. Okay. Let's see if it can break out of the range. New York opening in a minute 40. And I think it's going to be exciting, guys. This is going to be a very exciting New York. And I think everyone is waiting in quite a lot of anticipation because of the fact. Listen, we've seen this same pattern, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, pumping, semi-ranging, crazy new from the orange man in the States. And then all of a sudden, oh, we're dumping again back into the lower bracket of the range. It's nothing new. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays have been notoriously bullish. Thursday, Fridays have been bearish, but bearish to a greater extent than the bullishness, and that's why it's keep on bringing us and compressing us back down to the lower bracket of the range until it breaks. Always stay hawkish. Listen, last week, Wednesday, during FOMC, I already gave my opinion. And based on the stance that Jerome Powell was taking, that we had to visit the lower ranges again. That we had to go lower. The fact that people are still in denial and people are still aping into certain positions. The market making algorithm changed, guys. The market maker now hunts for liquidities. He's not looking for rationality. He's not looking to do things the right way. They're looking for liquidity, and they're looking especially for the liquidity of us. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm not very much fond of the fact of giving my money to the market maker. I prefer to keep my money to myself, buy nice things for myself, my friends, my family, etc. and live a peaceful life. That's why I'm here. Trading with you guys, trying to make the best of it. I'm doing this all for free for a reason, because I want to do best and I want to do good. There comes New York. Let's see. I would love to see some pressure upwards. That would be amazing. Come on, New York. Show us what you got. How's the music today, guys? Someone made like an hour-long loop for me of finally some different music, so we don't go completely brain dead just by my music choice. Is it better now? You're gonna make it, bro. Yo, that's why I'm here. That's at least what I'm trying to do, and that's what I'm making my mission. Your 66.7 looks like absolute fortress. Yeah, it's giving dumpy vibes, doesn't it? Yeah, absolute monstrous. Right, this is slightly uncalled for, isn't it? Could have at least pretended that it would go up a bit. They don't even pretend. 0.5% move straight down from New York. Welcome, welcome, welcome everyone to the New York session, where the fuckery just extends to newer lows. Or this sort of sums it up, doesn't it? How much liquidity did they take this time? So the lower end seems to be holding, knock on wood. Oh, there comes the pressure again. Yeah, guys, this is just insanely dangerous to trade because the moves are so volatile and so quick that the chances of getting scared out of a position or getting taken out or stop loss are so big. So please, if you're trading this, trade safe and only do it with capital you can lose. And please, for the love of God, stay away from altcoins, because that's the most brutal thing you could do right now. They exponentially move in regards to Bitcoin, and the moves are just way too much in order to manage with any sort of recent or decent risk management. So if you're trading this, trade Bitcoin. Don't go to altcoins. And if you're not in a position right now, this is not the time to scale in. That's my personal advice and that's my personal opinion. Because a lot of very good traders get beaten by this market because the market is ferocious. We're hunting for liquidity. That's all we're doing. We're liquidating liquidity left, right, center, up and down, and it's not pretty. Look at this. Look at these 30-second candle moves and the average size of them. It's crazy. And they pressure it down like there's no tomorrow and like it's costing absolutely no energy at all. With full absorption of longs, no upwards movement, no upwards pressure, just blunt pressure downwards. Yep, the meme coin I was in today wrecks the depth this market. Yeah, it's insane. To try snipe the bottom at 66k, small position? Absolutely not. Listen, I keep my short from 70.8 right now. And further than that, no news. There's no glory to be made for me in this market. All I can do is lose by scaling in now. It's just the truth. All you can do by scaling into this market is lose. Because it might reverse very fast. Doesn't look like it's gonna do it, don't get me wrong. But scaling in now and taking trades now. Look, New York hasn't had a single second of upwards momentum. Zero. Absolute zero. And all they've done now is take almost 0.7%, if I have to assume. Yeah, almost on the dot, 0.7%. And we have been open for 5 minutes, so, you know, nothing too crazy, I guess. Look, nothing is showing strength. Nothing is having the right influx to do anything. Every green candle gets eaten ferociously by more pressure down. For now, it's a waiting game, guys. I can't make it prettier than that. If you want to trade, you're just gambling. What's your opinion on where oil will go? Absolutely to the moon. Look, bulls can't do anything right now. Typical Friday vibes. I reckon I'd have better luck at the blackjack table. Absolutely. SPI about to fall bad? Yeah, probably. Bitcoin isn't looking too good either, to be honest. So it is proven to be the maximum 66.7 as of now. Look at that candle. Even too much volume for the APIs to condone. 22 million taken out. Congratulations. Thank you all for playing. Now let's see what it's gonna do. If it's actually gonna pump back up above, or just gonna keep the pressure and just gonna have some more fun. Apparently even platforms can deal with it. Let me get that off very quickly. Sorry. Remember, several altcoins on spot ETFs now, so great future ahead. I could not disagree with you more, to be honest. I think almost none of the altcoins having a great future ahead, except absolutely zero. It just can't. It's impossible in the current market conditions with the influx of money and how everything is positioned as of currently, that something has a great future. Except Bitcoin. But that's my personal understanding. And I can't trade any other coins than just Bitcoin, just for the reason that the people following me and my own liquidity, I will shake up, rock up, and destroy markets by touching anything else than just Bitcoin. Damn, 22 million? Yeah. Bitcoin needs to remain above the 66.4K region in order to potentially show some strength. We had good liquidations now. $29 million got liquidated. $29 million within the first 10 minutes of New York opening. But if this isn't the bounce level here and this isn't enough to get them up, I mean, they did like 300 million in the last 6 hours. If this isn't cutting it and this isn't doing it, we're gonna look for a lot lower targets, and this might be the right move. As of now, it's too early to say yet. That's why we're just analyzing, having a good chat, chilling a bit together. By the way, hit the like button, guys. Let's hype up this stream. And again, with 700 people here, what are we thinking? We're feeling long, we're feeling short, we're bullish, we're bearish. Did we even survive the week? Did we make some money? Or did we lose money, but are we still hanging in there? Or did we get absolutely liquidated? It's a safe space here, guys, but I'm just curious to hear about everyone, like how they are legitimately doing. Short-term pump. Start bluffing under your link yesterday, now up 10%. Look, that's what we want to hear, right? Those are the numbers. They are the big bucks that are coming in. Just even bearish. The only thing I made money on is my shorts. Well, have you seen the market, my friend? Broken, trying to pass bit funded. How is that going? It will only pretend to go up. There's some deviation coming in and spot is slowly picking up, so it's looking less-ish bearish. Never mind. They managed to put it down again. They put it to bed. Market makers are computers, and market makers are companies that are providing liquidity to the markets and that are actively trading in order to keep the spread and the fulfillment of orders. So a market maker makes sure that if you press the button, that you actually get filled for your position, your coin, or whatever. Please read, consolidating above support is bullish. Theoretically, yes, but I don't know if you would call this consolidation above support, in my honest opinion. Why was your short auto close? Did the exchange do it? Well, what happened was that apparently on Bluffing you need to turn on hedge mode. So that's why mostly I trade on multiple exchanges. One, to spread liquidity and spread the money, but secondly, also to prevent certain things from happening. And we're still in the testing phase, even though it's going very, very well and I love Bluffing. But you need to manually turn on hedge mode. It's in settings. So as soon as my long order started hitting, it started closing and canceling out my active short. Do you think it's correct to look at the 50-minute liquidity heat map on CoinGlass for daily trades? It can help you establish a bias, but I don't know if the CoinGlass API is actually pulling in all the live data. I use 𝗩𝗍𝗡, and that thing on the 30 seconds gets more data into there. So that gives me personally a better read. But as we speak, we're building our own liquidity indicator that, again, sign up under the link, join the Discord, and you will get more information pretty soon. And hopefully that can help a lot as well, because I'm struggling too to finding the right indicator to give a proper read on liquidity. It's pretty rough. It's such a hard thing to get fixed correctly, because it can be insanely confusing. Cons above support is bearish, not bullish. With dwell blocks, it's not. And the market algorithm currently has shown that consolidating above support is actually bullish within the current algorithmic settings. I have heaps and heaps and heaps of examples about the fact that it actually is. So I would fight you on that one. Should I TP now? How much? If you're short from 74k, take like 60% profit, leave the rest to 64, and happy hunting, happy days. Just they can't break above the 66.6, 66.7, and I don't understand why, because these levels have never been that strong. It looks like that they're artificially trying to keep the market here for XY reason without releasing the liquidity, because they're not liquidating much shorts right now. So it has to start going up pretty soon, otherwise the longer it takes, the more bearish I get. Why? Because the market sentiment is down and the pressure is down. So if they can't keep up with pushing through the pressure to the upside, it's 9 out of 10 times it's not gonna end pretty. Iran deadline also coming. I don't know what deadline. I'm trying to build bot for algo trading. Any advice? Oh buddy, it's you and a million other people. I think algorithmic bot trading is one of the hardest things to do now, because if it was possible and people could actually do it, same as AI and trading bots, everyone would be a millionaire. And keep in mind, you're fighting against instances and fighting against companies that have billions and billions of research budget alone, and the market makers. Listen, there are heaps and heaps ahead of us in our basement or in our attic trying to code something and do the great thing. Did we cover something today like CVD yesterday? Today what we're covering is when to trade and when not to trade, and staying out of the market. And for example, now is a great day on Friday with the weekend coming ahead to stay out of the market if you're not already positioned. And the reasoning behind this is that London did the dirty, New York opened low, we don't see any strength yet, and we're already at a very, very pressure down range. So there's not much glory to be made here, to be honest. So that's where we're at right now. Trying to take the last daily support at 65.5. Might be. But that again, in an RR setting, is not worth it to enter from right here. CVD is rising really fast. They're really trying to pressure it up, but the market is not giving a flying F. Guys, this is probably the hardest market I've ever traded in my life. Even though it looks like everything is going our way, but also finding the shorts and the insane candles. Like for example, yesterday evening again, % up out of the blue, right? And the day before going to high 70s out of the blue, again, boom, pressure. This is such an insanely complicated and rough market to trade, that where if you're trading with anything above 15x, you're probably gonna get destroyed by the algorithm and by the market. Look at this as well. Look at the New York established range already. The first two candles gave us 1%, almost. They've taken 29 million, they're reconsolidating above the order block, and so they can't do anything. 66.6, 66.7 appears to be an insane fortress without having prior time spent and without having any conviction for the range. So it looks to me that they're gonna absolutely dump it. But again, no confirmation to either side. And we have been open for almost 20 minutes. If you look at these 4 candles, what does it tell you? Because to me, honestly, it says absolutely nothing except fuckery. These huge candles stop loss me out several times. That's exactly what I'm trying to say, my friend. There's no glory to be made in these candles. You have some strong buying and spot buying. Yeah, CVD is rising. So spot is actually trying to buy this move. But there might be a latency, but normally the spot move is the real move. And DXY keeps dumping. So the fact that DXY keeps going down shows me that I think that the legacy markets are also trying to pick up, but Bitcoin is just not there yet. See, S&P is showing a pretty strong recovery also after that candle. And Bitcoin is just having different ideas, you know? Annoyingly so, but Bitcoin is the weakest of the bunch right now. It's like the slow kid in class. More pressure, yeah, of course. Why would you go up, right? I don't know what liquidity they're looking for, to be honest. This can become a very, very, very painful day if this keeps up. Because if they're gonna release the liquidity, there's no reason to stop them before 64. Zero reason. And with this pressure, the lack of pumping and everything, yeah, Bitcoin's saying nope. S&P is going up. Nasdaq is probably also going up. Dixie is still going down, trailing lower. And Bitcoin's like, well, I considered it, but it's not my vibe, you know. Bitcoin is a bit over dramatic and yeah, slightly suicidal. Look at that pressure, man. Jesus. Normally we shift out of this range pretty extremely fast. The fact that they're now just smacking it into the range is not a good sign at all. Look, there's zero rays of light, zero sign of hopium. Absolutely nothing positive going for Bitcoin, to be honest. It's like it's laying on its deathbed waiting to be executed. Going down much lower. I don't know if it's much lower, but I can definitely see it going lower. 100%. Especially with the pressure, like the pressure that this market is giving without doing volume in terms of pressure is insane. Like Bitcoin wants up, but the market keeps saying, nah, we've been thinking, but it's not your day today, my friend. We're not doing it. And what's gonna happen is that as soon as DXY is gonna pump back up and S&P is even slightly giving a whiff of downside, Bitcoin is gonna jump off a goddamn cliff. That's probably the playbook for today. So this one can definitely leave. We didn't even get the 50% retrace, man. We didn't get anything. Bitcoin doesn't want us to have nice things. Or make sense. Nuked again? Yeah, absolutely nuking. Even these moves, these are not small moves, huh? It's a 0.5%. With ease. I think we can prepare for lower, guys. Did New York collect Infinity Stones? I don't know, man. But it seems like Thanos is absolutely annihilating it. But guys, this is the problem with crypto right now, right? Like, everyone is down. Everyone's had it with this. There's no liquidity. No one wants to even trade or be associated with this market anymore because it's just constant pressure and constant doom. And yet we're only at 66k. We can go so much lower. And I'm just genuinely fearful for crypto because, listen, if this is already happening at this point, like, what's the future gonna give, you know? It's not starting to look brighter and better. Because look at this. They give a slight pump, a slight bit of hopium, and not even in a straight line, and they straight line it back down. It's mad. Oh, then finally they're pressuring. On the dot of the opening of the new 5-minute candle. Look at the first 15 seconds of this 5-minute candle. It's majestic. It's absolutely majestic. Was it my biggest short ever since 67.6? I am smiling. I would not hold that for too long, my friend. Thanks for the knowledge. Greetings from Ireland. You're more than welcome, my friend. Here we go. Buckle up. When long edge close. What is an edge? You mean hedge? Bro, my short is still bigger than my long. I'm gonna DCA my long. That's how you build hedge positions. How did this even reappear here? Who the hell was longing that? 32 million. Ah, so it took another 3 million out. They're going for the breadcrumbs today, aren't they? Yeah, just go lower already. We know you want to go lower. Just take us out of this agony, please. Great weekend, Joe. That sounds like a very good week. Here we go. Come on, Bitcoin, then just take it. Take the 66k liquidity and just get it over with. Come on, we know you want it. Just do it. Just take it. Yeah, right now I'm just waiting for Bitcoin to go lower. Doesn't want to or doesn't want to go up either. So that's the mega choice. It can't just stay around the 66k-ish area. It's not an area to consolidate. Oh, 40 million. GG, Bitcoin. You're still hungry, my friend? There goes some more. There we go, finally. Now we had a good meal, huh? Wanna make a bet? Another 20 million? Let it just rake in the winnings. It takes a bit of time to update here. I'll give it a minute. Now with a full belly, can we finally go up a bit? Just for everyone to slightly have the feeling that we're still making sense. 42. I expected way more than 2 million there. Probably still calculating, must be. If this candle doesn't flip green, there's still zero hope of us going higher. So it has 1 minute to flip green, otherwise it's still gone. I don't feel so good. Why not, my friend? What's going on? How low? Bro, this thing can go very, very, very damn low. Don't worry. This thing can go as low that I have to zoom out my chart low. Looks like we're back where we started Sunday. Yes. Back into the 66k range, you guys. With zero new outlook on positivity. Bitcoin is amazing at crushing souls and crushing mental stability. Look at that first 5 seconds. That's crazy. So the new 5 minute candle opens with a $50 jump down. That's crazy. And I can tell you what this candle holds, guys. It's a whole lot more of downward pressure. Yeah, New York is being ferocious. Another 1% down, so that's 5-6% for the day. It's not looking good for the outlook of Bitcoin. Dollar still coming down in a downward trajectory. Bitcoin is giving no signs of life or hope. I know it sounds melodramatic, but it's... I would just like to see one face rip a 1% candle that they've done the last days, just to liquidate. The thing is, there's no shorts getting burned right now. And without them burning any shorts, it doesn't look like a sustainable move. And it's unhealthy for the market. Look what they're taking in the last hours. It's nothing. So the last 12 hours, it's almost less than 5%. Oh, it's not, it's 7-ish. But it's unhealthy. Unhealthy ratios. But look at this 30 seconds again. Again, downwards pressure. Absolutely straight down 30 seconds. And look at how they're observing the pressure here. Every candle that tries to be green gets a wick to the upside, wick to the upside, wick to the upside, wick to the upside. Even these. And everything that pressures down is just body, body, body. It's full candles. It's nothing in between. Yeah, they are going even lower, man. More pressure coming. BTC does not look to be bouncing, to be honest. We haven't seen a single second of green in this session, have we? No, 230 opening, no, nothing. Because it didn't take the high of the previous candle. No. So the first 30 minutes of New York have been concluded hereby. The probability indicator nailed it. Yes, sir. It definitely did. So has been holding up better for absolutely no reason. Well, but let's be honest, man. So has been punched around so much. It would be nice to finally see a bit of hopium for Sol and for the community. Because Jesus, the thing has taken a beating again. From 250 down to, where is it at now? From 250 down to 83. Like Solana has been through the mill. Has been mangled. Abused. Come on, Bitcoin. This would be so nice to finally shift out here. And I don't want to see much. Just the retest of 67. That's all. The retest of 67 would be healthy. But yet again, it doesn't have to do anything because it can stay irrational very, very, very long. And it's just contract between... This is a nice structure that they're building. It's upwards grinding, and upwards grinding has a tendency to shift out to the upside. Stuck with 50-minute opening candle. Oh, bro, we're stuck with way more than just a 50-minute opening candle. Is there any room for placing long scalps? Bro, there's always room. The question is, do you want to do it? And I would not want to do it right here, right now. But that's personal, you know? Look at how they're immediately retracing this slight attempt to shift out of the pattern here in the 5 seconds. Even here, they're not letting go of liquidity. Listen, the strategy is clear. Pressure down. Let's see if they can actually do something and try to push back up. Look at how much liquidity built just in the time that we've been here, just in the last hour. The amount of liquidity that is built here to the upside. It's very, very unhealthy for a chart to be this much balanced. While DXY is still going down. I'm telling you that if I look at the traditionals, they're probably going up. Now S&P going down, that's surprising. That means everything is moving contradictory and contradictions. That's very interesting. Come on, Bitcoin, show us some strength. Lead the pack here. We can use some positivity, can't we, guys? So, in chat, who is in a position and who isn't? Let me know. I just want to see where we're at with all of us, right? It's important to understand. Everything is moving opposite? Absolutely. Everything gone mental. Oh, Bitcoin's already undoing all the good work. Look at how much pain it takes to rise up in this. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. All the pain, all the effort. And how easy it is for them to annihilate these structures, like here. No trading, this is pure fuckery. Good. That's very, very, very smart move. Because as I said, there's not much glory to be made in this market, guys. Keep that in mind. Listen, we're traders, we're not gamblers, right? If we want to gamble, we'll go to the casino. Where's Baxter? Baxter's sleeping, man. It's Australia. And it's still my own show on my own channel. Baxter's... Where you short? I'm short. Where are you short from, my friend? Mr. Mario. Let's see if we can fight ourselves back into the structure here and actually shift out. I really want to see the 70k liquidity get taken for healthiness of the market. But it's such a grind, such a fight, man, this current candles. Look at it, how much pressure they need to put and still how much rejection they're getting for trying to grind upwards. Surprised they don't want to take the shorts. Me too. They're just relocating the point of resistance and of hard rejection. Long from 66k, nice. 70.2, such an attractive level. Bro, I think the 70.2k level both has slightly been missed to aim for that from here for now. If you look at the structure, the geopolitical tension and everything around it, I would say that that is a fair bit of hopium within it. But who am I? Or 66.8 would already be a freaking championship for the current structure and the current price action. Because it has the strength of a 3-year-old. Even though CVD is pressuring up, price can't do absolutely anything. It's starting to be a bit pathetic, to be honest. So yeah, my bias is getting more and more and more bearish. S&P melting. Oh god. It's interesting though. It's very, very interesting. Especially because of the fact that DXY is not doing that much. It looks to be going down more than it is going up. And normally the traditional markets are very, very sensitive to the dollar movements in general. And Bitcoin is just trying to survive the range as of now. Not that it's doing a good job, but it's trying its best, you know, survival mode. Guys, I think we're gonna go lower, to be honest. I'm not seeing a lot of reasoning behind why Bitcoin would survive this. With traditionals going down, DXY being ignored, and everything that's happening around it, I don't see a lot of reasoning for us to go up. And we're struggling with even the basic levels, and even basically trying not to shit the bed is already exhausting for Bitcoin. So if we get a bounce, I would advise in starting to look for shorts on the bounce. Look, this is how they take 5-second candles on. This candle was starting to look pretty good, right? Everything to the upside has a wick, or at least most candles. And as soon as they show relative strength or slight pressure, they really need to get off the gas in terms of pressuring down if we want to see something and if we want to actually do something. Oh, Bitcoin making an attempt here. Probably not, but it's not like they immediately retrace it. Oh, Jesus. What would be a short range target? The thing is, it's even hard to chart out a short target, because you want to see at least a feasible level for you to start shorting from, right? So everything except, for example, these kind of shorts still need Bitcoin to, within reason, move. Isn't everything below 67.5 makes no sense of shorting? There's no way that it would make sense to get in a short here and it actually works. But apparently you can just blind short every level in this market because it doesn't matter since it will go down anyways. But New York hasn't given a single second of upside or a single second of green. It's an absolute fight to get out of the ghetto. And then as a result, they do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Give me 10, please. 10 candles in a row where they just pressure it again. Like, nothing to do for the bulls except wait and hope to not get liquidated. So if you're in a long and you can still get out, get out. This is unhealthy. This market is gonna pressure down. And I'm still positioned in my shorts, and my shorts are heavier than my longs. So for me, there's no way to enter right here except looking at the behavior at 67.5, and until then, almost no further notice, you know? Maybe bulls are there, bro. Bulls out of liquidity, my friend. Bulls got taken for 320 million in the last 12 hours. I don't know where the bulls are, but they're probably not home. USDT dominance is very bullish. I believe you without even looking. Again, the only level that makes sense for me right now to start scaling in a short is 67.5. The bull stop longing, with the market tank even faster? No, not per se, because it's hunting liquidations. So as long as the bulls keep longing like this, the market maker just keeps on eating the liquidity below. I think the chances of us going up, if everybody stopped retarded longing, would be higher and significantly higher than as it is right now. Spot is driving the move, not futures. So spot needs to start buying and futures needs to stop being monkeys. That's basically it. Even though the shorts are piling, they're ignoring the shorts. It's that easy. Look at how much liquidity is building up here in the time that we've been here. This whole range created itself. And that's $15 to $20 million worth of liquidations, but the market just doesn't feel to grab it right yet. Look, they're building these equal highs. They're not willing to go above the trend line again. They're constantly rejecting even on the 30-second time frame. Even on the 30-second, they're rejecting the same level without any hopium of going above. If they go above, it will probably be quite a bit of a rocket. But as of now, I'm not seeing it happening again. But if it happens, it's going to be ferocious, and that's why I'm only looking at 67.5. Anything in between is noise. Absolute noise. Oh, I got my first 8 on Binance. How can I make it 10? Bro, I have no clue how to help you. Chento promoting Coke? No. I just drink a lot of sugar. I'm promoting Blowfin though. The link is down below. You see, there they go again. Pressure! Or the pressure and the doom is imminent. I think that we are gonna see lower today, guys. Could be that they're waiting for more shorts, bro. You know how many shorts are in the market right now? It's insane. But look at how much pressure immediately down again from the same level. Like it's so artificially inflated and it's so artificially kept there. And I've been saying this all week. The grade of manipulation is absolutely severe at the current levels. Like every time the market is manipulated, don't get me wrong, and the market only moves on manipulation. But this is taking it to a whole new level, what we've seen the last weeks. It's absolutely crazy. Hi, bruv. Hello. Bitcoin's not correlating. Bro, Bitcoin's correlating with itself right now. Because, as I said, 𝗥𝗘𝗟𝗑 is still going down. So apparently now every market has chosen to move down, which is even wilder. Bitcoin is completely incapable of holding its pants up, even after liquidating 300 million. So it might as well just immediately dump to the gates of hell. Where can we bounce from? Honestly, right now I have no clue. Because if these levels after $300 million of liquidations don't bounce, and they're pressuring it this hard, there's not much hope for any bounce pretty soon. So don't get involved in this. Look at how much they spent 15 minutes trying to get it up there, and they spent a good 4 minutes just to annihilate that complete 15-minute work ethic. Looking for the lows again. Well, this New York, as I said before, hasn't given a single green candle. There's no way for me to scale into shorts right here. Be careful. Only short position you can take is 67.5. That's the first level that would be shortable. And for longs, I wouldn't look for longs anywhere above 65.4. That's the first level I can see holding. How about short scalps? Bro, I can nuts short scalp 100 Bitcoin. It's impossible. And for me, in the current range, it's not worth scalping this. Absolutely not. Like, what range am I gonna scalp with that centered between these blocks? Oh, there we go. Liquidity release again. Pressuring down below. Just release everything and just annihilate the range, please. There it goes. It's probably gonna dump hard now. How much did they take this time? Wait, is this actually showing strength? Would this be it? Nah, probably not. Would be an absolute joke, but another 5 million in the bank for the market maker. GG market maker. Oh, there we go. It was just a temporary relief. Don't worry, guys. Just remove the long button at this point. Yeah, it makes no sense. Like, that thing is there just for giggles. Absolute fun and giggles. So from New York opening, we have done a casual 1.35% down. Not too shabby, New York, not too shabby. And it only took you less than an hour. Oh, 53 million. So they racked another 10. Not even a wick, huh? It's not even bouncing. It's not even pretending to bounce. Straight to the basement, absolutely. To that and beyond. 59 million. Hoppa. GG, thank you for playing. Come back tomorrow. No crying in the casino, guys. No crying in the casino. Struggling because of the support at 65.5. Bro, it's... Your code is struggling, to be honest. Like, you know where we opened today, right? We opened here. So it's down 4.5%. I don't know what's struggling. Or who is. Come on, just at least give us one decent bounce in New York. Just one. 𝗥𝗘𝗟𝗏 is still dumping. It's uncanny. That's getting all greedy. I made 103% trade today already, but I'm starting to look at 60k like candy. It's going straight up after all the liquidations. Yeah, bro, but what are the liquidations we're still having or we're still looking at? I have no clue. March close in red, that would be absolutely surprising as how, to be honest, if March closes red. Because then it's a record with most consecutive red months ever in the history of Bitcoin. Well, New York can't do anything. They can't pressure anything up. They don't even want to. Listen, every candle is getting retraced. Every small pump is getting annihilated. It's done, guys. Listen, this range is done. We're gonna get lower. We're gonna find more liquidity. They're gonna absolutely hunt the bottom today. They liquidated 63 million in the first hour. It's game over, guys. They're going to the basement. It's absolutely game over. They're breaking level after level after level. Like they started at 69 today, and we're looking at 65. Look at the liquidations that are still happening. Dude, enter long at 65.5. What are you waiting for? Bro, have you seen this? Everyone in chat is telling me 65.5. You legitimately think that they're gonna make it that easy on everyone? So the whole world is saying 66.5 and the market is like, yeah, you know what? Sounds like a plan. You're my G, you're my man. So short right now? No, absolutely nothing. Don't touch it. Why would you touch this? Guys, we went down 5% for the day, right? So I don't get why everybody still wants to aim into a position. We're down 5% for the day. What are we waiting for? What are we wanting to say? Nothing on the order books? Yep. Even 66.5 is a stretch, man, to even assume a bounce. Look at the size of these candles. The last 3 candles for the last 15 minutes is another percent. And you're greed talking. Yeah, exactly. Everyone is getting greedy, guys. And greedy people get eliminated in the end. Trust me. Greed in this market will get you absolutely humbled. They've taken 70 million already in the last hour. Long 67k. What? That is gonna pump me too. So guys, I pretty certain we're gonna test the 65.3k region. I see no reason why not. And I think we're gonna end it there for today. Guys, thank you all for showing up today. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Don't over trade. Don't over leverage. Don't over risk. And don't get yourself mixed in this clusterfuck. Press the like button for support. Thank you all for showing up. And I'll see you all next week.